I have not written. I have not revised. I have completely lost sight of the plot of my life at this point. Where's your sister? Hi, my name is Lindy Jung. I am a speculative fiction writer, and on this channel I talk about writing craft, my writing journey, and just sort of anything else I feel like. Today we are going to dive headfirst into the first round of revisions for my dark academia adult fantasy project Moths. That is not the real title, by the way. You can find a short pitch for the project in the description box below, as always, but I'm gonna assume that most of you guys already kind of know the drill. So to catch you guys up, I did finish the first draft of Moths and the first read through in early March. I gave myself like a week or so to just take a breather, kind of let the ideas marinate for a bit, and it's currently Friday, March 22nd. In case you didn't know, I do plan to query this book to literary agents. Originally, my deadline for that was April 2nd. Obviously, that is not happening. I have been way too busy with my move, with running around and catching up with all my friends before I move to another state. So I'm giving myself a little more grace. My soft goal is to query by the end of April/early May. When I get to my new state, I'm going to have like a breather/rest and relaxation period, which is never a rest and relaxation period. I don't know how to relax, so I'm just gonna revise every day. But as long as I query before June, I think I'll be happy. I just want to get this done this spring. Acts 1 and 2 only really need minor revisions. There's definitely work that could be done, and I'm working a lot off of the notes that Chris, Kelly, and my friend Sam gave me, which you can see in a prior vlog. Most of my focus is going to be on the world building, just beefing it up, making it more specific, making the rules and logic more clear. But I don't really anticipate adding or removing anything major, just changing some lines, adding some more details, removing some extraneous ones. It should be pretty straightforward. I'm also going to focus heavily on line editing for these first two acts, especially the first 10 to 15 pages. Generally speaking, when you send sample pages with a querying package, then that's what agents will ask for, is the first 10 to 15 pages of your book. So you want that to be as polished as possible. Acts 3 and 4 and 5 are going to be a little bit trickier because I just wrote them so fast, and as I was doing my read through, I could see the holes that I was creating for myself. Before I go into those acts, and after I finish the 1 and 2 revisions, I am going to have to take a big step back and look at my notes and plan out the big changes I'm going to be making. Again, I don't see anything super big happening. Like, I don't see myself having to scrap entire subplots or character arcs or plot lines, but there's definitely work that needs to be done to make the book consistent. One of the big subplots that has the most issues that I can tell and will need the most fixing is actually the romance arc. I just don't know, it's just not convincing, and I do feel like the love interest kind of feels like a background character or a footnote a lot of the times, which makes sense because as I was working on this book and I got deeper into the process of writing it, I just honed all of my attention onto the main character. But it is kind of a bummer because I love the love interest. She's honestly like one of my top favorite characters I've ever written. I think the conclusion of her arc is really interesting, but I just want the lead up to that conclusion to be stronger. Like, I want readers to fall in love with her the same way the main character does, and not just because she is hot, because she's hot, I'm sorry. And I want them to be curious about her because she's more of a mysterious figure. So there's just a lot of stuff that I could fill out there. So with my progress so far, the query letter is done. I do think I'll change the last paragraph to focus a little bit less on the romance arc, because just in case I can't fix it up enough, I don't want to build that expectation that this is a romance heavy book. It's not. I do want to make the character of the love interest have more of a role in the story, but it's not really so much focused on their love story. The synopsis also needs to be finished and brushed up, so those are two things that I'll also focus on throughout this vlog, as well as just getting those edits for acts 1 and 2 done. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will go ahead and get started here in a little bit, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Bye. Hello. It is currently March 29th. I don't even remember when I filmed the update. I know it's been a little while. Honestly, this past like week and a half has been such freaking like, it's just been so hectic. I've just been scrambling to get things done, and I feel like I never get enough done, just with the acts of like packing and also prepping my content, so there's like a steady stream of content coming out while I'm like busy trying to get settled in the new state. Actually, I have not written. I have not revised. So we're getting close to that original deadline of April 2nd that I wanted to have revisions done by. I already said in the beginning of this vlog that that's absolutely not happening. Like, that's just not realistic for me right now. Today is going to be like a hustle day. So I'm going to film 2 videos that are kind of like writing advice content types of videos, and you know, have those ready so that I can edit them and just upload them whenever I need to put out content but don't have time to film. After that, I'm going to try my hardest to finish packing, or at least get my luggage done and like 2 of my boxes done. The other thing is I'm actually like crocheting a cardigan. This is just one panel of it for my friend who bought the yarn for it before I went to Thailand. Like, this has been a work in progress for months and months. If you crochet, if you make handmade stuff for your friends, you know what it's like. But the thing is, I ran out of the yarn for the base, so I ordered that base yarn and it's supposed to come today. I literally have like half a sleeve, the trim, and like the decorations, and to sew everything together. I'm a pretty fast crocheter, so that shouldn't take too long, but I want to finish before I go so I can give her the sweater finally. That's also kind of a priority. So I'm starting to think that maybe I won't be able to sit down and work on revisions until I get to my new state. Once I get there, of course, I have to do all this stuff like figure out my health insurance, get my new driver's license, find a place to live. All of this other stuff is going to pile on top. So I'm really worried that I'm just not going to be able to get it together. But of course, the only thing I can do is try. Even though I haven't touched Moths in quite some time, I am really looking forward to potentially sitting down with it tonight and just sort of dipping my toes in. When I end up taking like an inadvertent or advertent break from writing like that, and like I haven't written anything except for like video scripts in this period of time, it's kind of hard to get back into things. So maybe if I start to ease into it now, I'll be more primed to work on it in a more intensive way once I get to the new state and to the place I'll be living in the interim. Yeah, I'm just worried that all of the like life stuff is going to get really crazy really fast. Thankfully, I don't start school until June, so that's what I'm looking at. Like, I want to be querying by the time I start school. The other thing is I do have the first draft of a short story due on April 12th, so I will also have to focus on that. That piece is, it's like probably 40 to 50% complete in terms of word count and scenes and stuff, but I don't like it. So that's a problem. I feel like for some reason it's just not as beautiful as I want it to be in terms of the writing and in terms of the story. I came up with this like very heartbreaking, bittersweet, romantic concept for this story, and it's just not coming through in the writing. That's something I want to take a look at as well. I swear to God, when I read too much young adult, and I had been reading Sarah J. Maas around the time I was like writing the first parts of that short story, my writing style just like goes out the window. I don't know what happens. I think I'm very easily influenced by what I am reading at the moment, so if I'm not reading something with beautiful lyrical prose, then I am not writing beautiful lyrical prose. I'm babbling because I'm a little stressed out, but it's like a good kind of stressed out, like it will help me get things done and it won't overwhelm me, hopefully. I've been reading this. I actually just finished Ninth House, and this is by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the sequel, Hellbent. I really liked Ninth House. I was kind of worried going into it that I would find too many similarities to Moths, but it's a very different type of book, so I feel good about that. At the same time, it's helping me sort of see in the ways that it contrasts with Moths, like what I want to do with Moths during these revisions to more firmly set its tone. I did change one element of Lark's backstory because it felt very similar to Alex Stern, the main character in these books. The element that I changed was that Lark's mom was this like kind of a carefree hippie, but also just like lived a very humble life. A big part of the core of Moths is this journey that Lark undergoes where she is from very humble beginnings, but the hippie mom to like a tough independent daughter thing is present in both these books and the Scholomance books by Naomi Novik. I don't know why. Well, I do. I feel like it's very understandable. And it's a pattern I see in real life where like carefree, lax parents make for some stressed out, hyper independent children, especially only daughters / eldest daughters. Like, I understand why that's a pattern in fiction, but I just wanted to sort of deviate from that. And I came up with a backstory for Lark's mom that makes her, like, it makes sense in the context of Lark's character that has already been established. Like, some of the traits that she showcases that are very deeply ingrained in her now come from her mom, and you can see that connection directly. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I figured out a way to rework the mom character while also staying true to Lark's character and even enhancing it in a lot of ways. I love it when a change works out like that. I love it when my brain does the thing, and that is pretty much the only thing that I've fixed or done. That is the only major change that has happened so far, so hopefully it stays that way. Okay, I'm gonna pack a little bit more. I'm gonna also show you what my room looks like. Obviously, it doesn't normally look like this because I'm packing. It's such a mess that it's actually kind of comical. So I'm gonna show you guys that, and then we're gonna, I don't know, carry on with this vlog, and then I'll update you guys as I'm moving and once I get some more revisions in. Bye. Just what everything looks like right now. Like pure disaster, mess. Yeah, and I have to figure out how to get all this stuff packed up and ready to go. It has been 2 weeks. It's currently Sunday, April 14th. Everything is for a reason. This is because the move has been so draining. I feel like I have not been able to establish a new schedule efficiently, and so that is basically going to be the goal for the next week. So I am in a new place. You probably saw footage of snow. There is no snow now. It's green. It's so weird for me to experience seasons. The honest truth is that I have basically not touched moths in the past week, 2 weeks, week and a half. Every day is so lazy, but also so busy. Even though I am extremely unemployed, I feel like there's always something that demands my attention. Over the past week or so, it's been the short story that I've been working on for A Secret Thing, which I say short, it's like 11,000 words at this point. You know, I got the assignment way back in December. I had my pitch. At the last minute, I decided to add a completely different story thread, so I was just rushing to get this included, get it finished. I barely got the first draft in on the deadline, which I'm not usually that kind of person. Or maybe I am. I don't know. I swear I'm not usually that much of a procrastinator, but it just all crept up on me. That's been really stressful. That has taken a lot of my writing energy and time and brain power away from Moths. The edits that I have in mind for Moths have sort of been marinating in the back of my head, so I don't feel too badly about it. I started this checklist of the key changes in this notebook. So these are all the major changes I'm going to be making, with a focus on sort of bringing the themes that I've developed up to the surface, and also changing a little bit about some characters, giving them more developed arcs, like the secondary characters are getting more developed arcs. What else? Oh, just adding some stuff to the plot to make it tighter, more interesting. So all of those thoughts have been definitely percolating in the back of my mind. So it's not like I haven't been thinking about Moths, but it's just that I haven't worked on it. I'm kind of scared to open it now. I get to that point where if I leave something alone for too long, I get really intimidated by the prospect of opening it. My general goal is to make it readable for other people by May, and then because I'm starting to feel less and less confident in the book at this point, I actually really do want to hear feedback from at least like a couple of other trusted people before I send it out to agents, because I really don't want to shoot myself in the foot here by sending out something that isn't ready to be read by an agent. But of course, all of that is only going to happen if I get my shit together. So that is going to be the theme for the rest of this vlog, is I am going to get my shit together. I'm going to establish a work schedule. I'm going to try today. It's currently around 1:45, and I'm going to work probably until around 4:30 with forest timers, which I haven't used in forever, but I've started to use them again. And obviously I'm going to have to focus entirely on the short story, which is unfortunate, but it's better to just get that done and in before the deadline, before I focus on Moths again. But yeah, that is honestly pretty much the update. Is like I haven't worked on Moths, but I am more settled now, and I am going to try to get back on track with my work stuff. This vlog is running a little bit long, and it is a bit rambly because I have completely lost sight of the plot of my life at this point. I'll probably do one more update once I finish acts 1 and 2, but otherwise, honestly, nothing that interesting has been going on, so I will just let you guys know what happens. I feel like with revisions, it's just a lot of sitting down and grinding, and the like revelations period is usually over by this point. I'm just gonna get started, and I'll update you guys later this week. Bye. Hi, it's currently April 21st. We're calling it on this vlog. We're officially done. This is the outro. I'm filming it on my phone because I'm having trouble figuring out a setup for my camera in this room. Sorry this has been such a weird and rambly vlog. It has been a weird and rambly time in my life. Obviously very transitional, just trying to figure things out and also get my life in order before school starts. But I kind of like that this one has been sort of all over the place, because it's really made me think about what I want my writing vlogs to look like in the future, especially as I go into what's basically going to be be another writing vlog series, like a brand new writing vlog series that I want to distinguish a little bit from the Moths writing vlog series. Obviously, this is very far in the future because I'm not done with revisions, but just sort of thinking about that. Basically, yeah, I might not do another writing or revising vlog for a while, but the next time you see one of those, it's probably going to feel really different if I accomplish my goals. But in other words, yeah, I did learn a bit from this vlog about what I want my vlogs to actually look like in the future. In terms of revisions, super happy to tell y'all that I'm about 2 very easy chapters away from the Act 2 revisions. Honestly, it took me a couple of days to really get going, but I made one of these, as I showed y'all. It's just a thing where each blob here represents one of the chapters, and I fill them in as I finish the revision on that chapter. Any sort of to-do list, checklist, just wonders for my productivity. Don't know why. Don't know why I didn't do one of these earlier either. Like, I've done them for every other book I've revised for, but it's been so long since I've revised a finished novel that I guess I forgot. Glad that I remembered because it's been super helpful. Yesterday alone, I revised about 5 chapters. I also was able to get the short story that I was working on revised. I'm probably going to have to do some more tweaking in the end because my partner read the ending and was like, yeah, that's a little rushed. And I was like, I know, but how do I fix it? So I'm starting to think about that a little bit. All in all, I was pretty productive this week, which was the goal. I'm hoping I can carry that energy forward into the next couple weeks here. I think I'm going to not vlog about Moths for a little bit because I really want to pour all of my attention and energy into the revision, get it done as well as I can, get going on querying, and just rush into that. I'm starting to feel more anxious as it becomes more real and less of like an abstract thing. Once I start querying, I'll start filming clips of that process, but don't really know how long it's gonna take, so don't know when that vlog would be out necessarily. But other than that, you probably aren't gonna hear about Moths for a little while. Thank you for following along on the journey. I might also do a live writing stream sort of thing, like a live write with me for a couple hours on one of these weekends coming up, because honestly I am so restless and bored, so I kind of need something to do. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. I'd be happy to set that up. But yeah, that is pretty much it. What's going to happen over the next couple of weeks is I'm just going to keep working on these revisions and get this book done. And I'll really start thinking about the flavor of writing vlogs that I want to put out for this next book, whatever that might be. So very excited to move on to new things. I feel like I've been talking about Moths forever. It's time to move on to new projects and let my brain sort of do what it wants to do, which is not work on this, basically. Thank you so much for watching and following along on this insane, rambly, across 2 states vlog, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.